It is the most transformative technologies of our time. From the apps on our phones to the algorithms that powers the industries, AI is shaping the way we live, work and think.
Right, Cheryl, but as the great saying goes, with great potential comes great responsibility. And as we look forward to the future, how will AI continue to evolve and what ethical, social as well as economic impacts can we expect? Now on this episode of Dialog TVS Plus, we will delve deeper into the world of artificial intelligence.
Right, and joining us this episode is Dr. Lau Shuhan, CEO of Archeo Technologies. Welcome to our site, Doctor, and welcome to Dialog TVS again.
Thank you very much. My pleasure.
And also, right, let's just jump straight to the question. Of course, as we know, AI itself can be trained, it can be developed, it can be taught, and we're still learning about AI. However, from an expert in this technology itself, how far advanced are we, and how is artificial intelligence, in the simplest term that you can mention, is shaping the way we live?
Okay, in the most layman's term, I would say, right, artificial intelligence is just a machine with a trained mathematical model that models how humans make decisions. So it's trying to mimic how we think, how we write, how we express ourselves, and so on. And then from there, we try to ask it to help us to make more advanced things, like something that we used to be able to do it manually, like writing poems, writing documents, help us to plan for our itinerary and so on. So these are some of the basic use cases in what we are seeing now, and this is called the generative AI era.
I see. And also, I mean, from that, we know that AI, it can be generated, you can actually teach it,
Yeah.
How does the realm of this actually work, with more and more does it take from, we well know that AI takes its information from the database and from things that are typed in, from the algorithms that have been. So how is the technology behind it?
So there are two components here. One is the algorithms. So the algorithms itself is the steps that we collect the data, we process the data, and then we eventually build the model. Okay, so that's the A, the algorithm, and then we have B, the big data. Yeah, so we need a lot of data to power these algorithms so that the algorithm has something to be trained on, right? You need the ingredients, the raw materials, and then we have C, which are the computing power. A lot of these data or a lot of these algorithms, they already existed, but because we are lack of computing power, like all these NVIDIA GPUs and so on, and because we lack of that, well, it wasn't possible to be achieved in the past. But now we're able to do that because of that. And the last one is the D, which is the data center, because we need the power, we need the water, the cooling system. So these are the ABCD of artificial intelligence.
Right, Doctor, we know now artificial intelligence is being used everywhere, from our studies to even in the workplace. Now, how intelligent can AI become, and can it one day ever replace humans in terms of work? What say you?
Yeah, this is a misconception a lot of people have. Like what Cheryl has mentioned earlier, it can be taught, it can be learned, it can be trained, but don't forget, everything that we feed into AI are existing data that we already have. Whether is it from a database, is it from a corporate workplace, or is it from even the public internet. But all this has a limit, they have boundaries. So whatever AI is being trained on are something that human has produced in the past. It's something that we have used in the past, we have generated, it's just that it was generated by humans, right? So on that angle, it will not be able to exceed human imaginations or our whatever. Yeah, so I personally don't foresee that AI's capability is able to overtake human in any means.
But maybe also some issues will rise, such as the concerns of privacy, transparency.
Yes.
So how do we address this, do you think?
Now, with or without AI, that is always a concern, right? Because of social media, people love to put their own things, their private information, our check-in, our holiday, our vacation pictures, and so on. But with AI, it has facilitated the process to make it faster, easier, better, and cheaper. At a lower cost, we can do that. So on that, we have to be very conscious that what sort of information we want to put it out there for people to consume. And then we must be aware that, okay, the algorithms are going to take from that. right? And you like it or not, a lot of things that we do, for example, our shopping, so we leave digital footprints as well, right? All the digital trails, we drive into a car park, we take note about car plate numbers and so on. So all these things are leaving a digital trail. So in a good way is making sure that we are aware that whatever we do, we leave a footprint. Then we know that we shouldn't do something funny, right? But on the bad side is that we should know that if there's something that you don't want people to know and use it against you, then you don't put it out there. Yeah, that should be the basic understanding. It has nothing to do with AI. AI just make it easier.
Right, and then we can see that I think most platforms, in our daily lives, we incorporate AI, and the dependency on it is getting more and increasingly popular over the years, such as when you key in, for example, your database or log in into your email or even make a payment, you have to have an email being keyed in. I mean, what are the things, from a data analyst and also from your expertise, can you explain perhaps the educational aspect of it, to make sure that there are no scams out there, or to ensure that there's a security level, being trusted on the uses of technology? I mean, what is your take on that?
So actually, there are a lot of best practices and guidelines out there that has been released or advised by the cybersecurity experts to tell us what to do. For example, right, you need to use a strong password, and then you need to diligently change your password every 3 months, for example. But how many of us actually practice that? So in the end, okay, so I have to share something with you guys. That password is not 100% foolproof. It's just that mathematically it's difficult for the hacker to hack the password within such a short period of time. So we try to implement like 2 factors, link your emails with your phone numbers and then send you OTP. And people try to use social engineering. They call you and say, hey, I got an OTP sent to you. Can you give me the OTP? Things like that happens. So it's not just a single technologies or digitalization that has enabled to make the life of hackers or scammers easier, but it's a combination of multiple factors that made it happen. Yeah, so from a public standpoint or from an educational standpoint is that you really have to follow the best practices and guidelines, and so that, like, for example, you don't write your password on a piece of sticky notes and put it on your monitor so that people can piggyback and do social hacking on you. Those are the things that it wasn't usually mentioned, but it's actually, it looks simple, but it's actually the most effective way of protecting yourself.
Right. Talking about guidelines, now there have been talk recently, especially now we know that the emergence of deepfakes and everything.
Yes.
Now, Doctor, do you believe that there should be a body, a governing body that governs artificial intelligence? Yeah,
there should be, and because all technologies, right, even from the most extreme one like weapons, rifles, or nuclear and things like that, it should be governed, right? It should be governed. If not, it will be something that everybody can just use it. And we know that in order for something to become a bad thing, it doesn't need 100% of the people to misuse it. You just need 10 or 20% of people to misuse technology, and that technology will carry a bad names. The problem is that this thing is so new, and every government, even in the US or in the Europe, they are still trying to figure out what are the best way to balance out the two things, that they can take care of your privacy, the governance, and also at the same time we still get to enjoy the benefits of artificial intelligence, and that is the key. And that's why a lot of time we recommend companies to use open source technologies rather than just relying on proprietary technologies, because open source technologies actually give you the full control of what are the data that you feed to the AI.
I see. I mean, with all these database and everything, I mean, what would be your advice, for those who are actually leveraging on AI, but at the same time, to fully implement the use of AI in our daily lives, and not to misuse it or to mislead it? I mean, from a point of expertise, and also from your point of view, what can you say about that?
Yeah. So when we use it, we must be conscious that what we want to get out of it. And let's say, like in our case, we handle a lot of database, a lot of clients contains privacy information. So if there are some PNC things, you should know that if you are not 100% sure, you better don't put it on there, because everything that you upload to ChatGPT, it will be processed by those AI and it will be entering into their database. Although they promise that they won't use it in any means, but it will still enter the so-called memory of those AI systems. So the best way is not to upload anything that's related to privacy, PNC information on the AI systems. That's the number one thing, the most basic, most fundamental one. And then on top of that, if you want to process your own things, like for example, you want to ask AI to give you some financial advice and things like that, you just use some simulated scenarios, then take it from there, and you can do your own simulations offline. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, but you don't have to do everything on the live AI system itself.
I see. All right, very interesting take. So
Definitely.
we have, definitely. So we have learned, albeit, it being brief, however, we hope to hear more and delve more into this. I think what we can grasp is that AI may not be enslaving us, but I think we are actually feeding AI itself. I think the main point of it, would you agree, Doctor, is that, the way how you use it and what you feed, and to have sanctions in between is actually vital for us to fully implement the usage of technology.
And I like your point of view is that AI can only enslaving us if we allow it to.
Yes, all right. AI can only enslave us if we allow it to, Douglas. All right.
We have come to the end of our show. Once again, we would like to thank you so much to Dr. Lau Cher-Han, the CEO of Astro Technologies. And with that is all the time we have for Dialog TVS Plus. My name is Douglas Elliott.
And I'm Charlotte Tomato. Till we meet again next time.
Bye-bye.